Welcome to this video here where we're going to take a look at how do we subtract integers, and I'm going to use a visual representation of something that I'm going to call the zero token to give you an idea as to why we are either going up or down depending on what value we are subtracting. And this can be somewhat tricky, especially when we deal with a negative number. So I'm hoping that I can help you with this, and I'm hoping this video kind of gives you that visual representation so that you can see things a little bit better or easier. So let's start off right now going through a description or a visual of what a zero token looks like. This right here is what I'm going to call a zero token. It's a blue dot with a orange circle around it. The colors don't really matter, but I try to separate the colors a little bit. What this is going to be is that when we add or put this full zero token into a question, it doesn't actually change the value of the question at all, but now we will be able to take it apart and use it to solve our problems, again, visually, and hopefully that helps you. So to define this zero token here, we're first going to split it up into the two parts. The first thing we have there on the bottom is this blue circle that's closed and full. That one right there, it's full, it's got lots of stuff in it. We're going to give that a positive 1 value. So this one has a value of positive 1. Now, you might be able to guess now, based on that, this open circle on top, we're going to give a value of negative 1. So we have a open circle, which is negative, and we have a closed circle, which is positive. And if you are to put these together again, like this, you're going to get a zero token. And we're going to call it a zero token as you can use it to solve problems. Now, I'm going to go through 4 examples with you in how we come up with or how we use these tokens in order to solve, and hopefully give you some nice visuals as to how that's going to work. So let's start off with the first one. We're going to do 10 minus 3. Now, this is a problem that you've seen a lot before, probably. It's positives. Hopefully, you've got an understanding of what 10 minus 3 is. Visually, it should look the same. We have 10 positive circles, and we're going to take away 3 of them. And what's left? 7. Yeah. So we have 10, we've taken away 3, and we're left with 7. Okay. This is something that is kind of that starting point of subtraction, which is where we start with our numbers. Now, what happens if we have negative values? If we have some negatives, like 9 negatives here, and we are taking away 3 of them. Now, if you have 9 negatives and you are subtracting 3 negatives, you're just getting rid of 3 negatives, and all you're left with then is 6 negatives, or negative 6. So it's the same way as positives. If you have a bunch of negatives and you're taking some away, you all now just have less negatives. Okay, less negatives in there. Now that should be kind of goes very much with what we have done before. It's just when we see negatives, we tend to freeze up a little bit, and it's a little bit more complicated, or it can look at least a little bit more complicated. I'm hoping this visual helps you out. What happens now if the first number is smaller than the second number? Well, sometimes we would see in some younger grades where we are going to move them around, so it's 9 minus 5. We can't do that with math, at least not in a specific math sense. We have to work on subtraction from left to right. So we have to take the 5 that we have, and we have to take 9 away. Well, we can't take 9 positives away from here because we only have 5. This is where we are going to add in some zero terms, and I'm going to add in 4 more zero terms into this question. Okay, so now you'll notice that we have 5 ones and 4 zeros. Okay, there we go, we got 9. And those ones are, what they do is it just makes more that we can now take away. So now we have 9 blue circles that we can subtract from there, get rid of, and what are we left with? We're left with some negatives. So this is how we go from having some numbers. When we take enough away, we're going to get into the negatives, and we're left with a value of negative 4. I hope that visual helps. Now, sometimes we think of number lines or hot and cold scales, and that could also represent positive negatives. I'm going to use this zero token to represent it visually in this lesson here. All right, the last one we're going to take a look at is when we are subtracting negatives. We have a number like 12 minus negative 7. Let's start off with 12 positives. Okay, 12 blue circles. If we have 12 blue circles, is there any negatives that we can take away? No, there's not. So we have to add in some negatives, but we can't just add in negatives. We have to add in zero circles, or zero tokens, which have both a negative and a positive in there. Now we have 7 negatives that we can take away, and they're gone. And we can count up how many positives we have remaining. So we're going to have a total of 19 positives remaining. It's important that we understand that when we take away negatives, we can't take negatives away from positives. So we're going to actually have to add some more positives and negatives in that we can take away. I hope that visual helps. I hope it gives you a sense of why we're taking or why numbers react the way they do when we are looking at integers. All the best as you work through your questions. Gladly leave a comment if you have questions, or you can email me if you're in my class.